cheating ex left me for her lover. Now she's begging to move back. But my kids and I have other plans. I need advice on a different kind of problem. Names have been changed, and the story has been generated and modified a bit so that we are not easily recognized, but it's all based on a real event. 2 years ago, my high school sweetheart and wife of 15 years left me for another woman. The divorce that followed was a difficult and emotional process we had to navigate. We dealt with the complexities of custody, child support, and property division. In the end, I gained custody of the kids and bought ex out of her share of our home, which has been a stabilizing force for the kids despite the challenges of our divorce. Despite the difficulties, my ex-wife and I have managed to maintain an amicable relationship for the sake of our children. We communicate regularly, but it's all about the kids and their activities. After the divorce, my parents, who live nearby, have been a huge help. They pitch in with childcare, homework, and even cooking dinner sometimes. I don't know what I'd do without them. Despite my best efforts, the kids struggle to accept their mother's new relationship. Emily, who's 13, refuses to speak to her mother, while 10-year-old Jack barely acknowledges her. I encourage them to maintain a relationship with their mother, but they're still hurting from her departure. As a result, my ex-wife, who's 37, has broken off her relationship with her partner. She apparently blamed her partner for breaking up her family, or at least her kids. I feel a tiny pang of regret. Should I have tried more? Should I be more supportive? But this is not my current problem, or my cross to bear. I'm faced with the new and unexpected challenge. My ex-wife is calling me non-stop, begging to move back in with us. She claims she wants to rebuild her relationship with the kids and maintain a platonic relationship with me. This is not forever, but she is looking for a year or two, or till her relationship improves. While we've remained amicable, I've moved on, and I'm not interested in any close relationship with her, platonic or otherwise. I've even started dating occasionally, though nothing serious has come of it yet. And the kids, will they even want their mother living with us again? I try to convey my reservations to my ex-wife, but she's insistent. She pleads with me to reconsider, saying she'll live in the basement and won't disrupt our lives. Now her friends and family have started pleading as well. Is there any good that can come from letting her come back? Or any silver lining? Has anyone come across any similar situation? Thanks for any and all help. Some relevant comments. HL knows she made her bed. Let her lay in it. Buy a house close by. She already has an apartment close by that I was livid about. It did have some advantages, like when the kids have to be dropped off, etc. But I hated when the two of them would stroll down the street on their walks. At least now there is no longer two, as they have broken up. Letting your ex move back would be pure insanity. Plus, she just wants to mooch off you for 1 or 2 years. So, your ex wants to move back in and be in a platonic relationship with you for 1 or 2 years, or until her other relationship improves. That is nonsense. Not live with us until her other relationship improves. She has given up on all other romantic relationships, as far as I know. Or at least that is what she claims. She wants to repair her relationship with our kids and thinks living in the same home, trying to help them, cook for them, etc., will help in mending the fence. Update. Divorced 2 years ago after my wife left me. I'm a 39-year-old male who has maintained an amicable relationship for the sake of our kids. My ex-wife, now 37, broke up with her partner and wants to move back in with me and our children, age 13 and 10, for 1 to 2 years, claiming she wants to rebuild her relationship with the kids. I've moved on and started dating, and I don't want her back. I'm seeking advice on how to handle this situation. I am unlikely to let her move in unless my kids plead for her to, and that is not happening. As per my ex, she has given up all romantic pursuits. There's no way to confirm, and I don't care. If she lives with us, she will live like a nun while I am free to date, etc. Financially, she is well off and so am I, so money and expenses are not an issue right now. She lives alone with a lease in her name, which requires just a month's notice if she wants to quit. She gave up full custody because the kids, in no uncertain terms, told her they wanted to live with me. Also, she had moved in with someone who had a bit of history that my lawyer would not hesitate to use. I also wanted custody, had space, and she decided not to fight a losing battle. This weekend, the kids spent time with their mom's parents, and something unexpected happened. My sharp 13-year-old daughter found out about her mom's previous proposal to move back in with us. She was upset and raised a huge fuss, prompting her mom to come over and try to calm her down. Luckily, I was unaware of the situation, and it's probably for the best in the end. My ex-wife decided to drop her plans to move back in. Instead, she's asked for more visitation time, which the kids are okay with, and I'm willing to make it work. Now there's a new development. Since both sets of grandparents will be out of town for Christmas, my ex-wife has suggested spending the holiday with the kids. However, my daughter also wants me to join them, which is a bit of a complicated situation. My ex-wife seems open to the idea, but I'm still weighing my options. I'm not sure what my son feels, but he usually follows his big sister. I'll keep you updated on what happens next. Relevant comments. I know you're trying to be considerate towards your children, but spending the holidays with your ex-wife sounds like quite the slippery slope. If you're dead set on not getting back with her, then I'd probably recommend just skipping out on spending the holidays with her. Instead, alternate who gets to spend the holidays with the kids. Truth be told, it is a no-win for me. It will be miserable without the kids, anyways, and I may just decide to join them and enjoy the kids being happy. I am all for it if it makes the kids happier. I understand the slippery slope, but at this point, I'm trying to make the best of it. I have not considered getting back together. I assume that is the way it will be, and that is probably how this story will end. That said, there is no hate here in either direction, just a lot of hurt and lost pride and trust, which will be very hard to overcome. It's very simple. If you have the balls for it, you tell her, no effing way to any of it. Don't worry about the kids. They will be fine. Let's just say I have it in me to try and make it as comfortable as possible for all involved, including me. I cannot change what was done in the past and will leave the justice to someone or something bigger than me. Hopefully there will be redemption, but that again is not my cross to bear. I have forgiven and I'm trying to forget. I do not consider myself weak. Rather, I consider myself stronger. But that is not how most will see it. I am on the way to recovery and wary of anything that will disrupt that. It will not be the same again, and we will never get back together as we once did. But apart from that, I am rooting for her recovery and success because the happier she is, the better for the kids. Thank you for your thoughts. Update. First of all, thanks to all that reached out and commented. It was going to be a quiet Christmas with myself and the kids. That is, until X wanted to join us at my place. I had a long conversation with X. It was the first long one in several months. She is in therapy and once again acknowledged that this is all her doing and apologized. Some of you may not like it, but she is invited for Christmas, and it will be a day affair. We will open gifts, the kids have some movies and games planned, and she will leave after dinner. I have got the kids' presents and she knows what they are, and I know what I am getting them as well. The exes are not exchanging gifts, not directly at least, but the kids have ordered some for her and used my card. I suspect they have made her order some for me as well, which she has paid for the most part. Whole Foods and Cracker Barrel are cooking for us. Feeding her will be uncomfortable, but it will not be unpleasant in the end. If the kids go to bed happy, I will be happy. If folks are interested, I will update. Thanks again. Some comments suggest keeping the kids at the forefront, and you will be fine. I have followed your posts, and I feel for you. It's a no-win situation, really. She has some real issues to resolve, and I am glad the basement thing is off the table. It would never have worked, honestly. As she progresses in therapy, things may change, but she is still their mom, so you still have to deal with her. Have you started to date or socialize at all? I did start dating and did have quite a few good dates, but for some reason, nothing serious came of them. I am still seeing a couple that want/need to take it very slow. One is waiting on a divorce while the other has some other work and life changes to deal with first. Let's just say I am in no rush. My needs are being met, and right now, my kids come above everything else. It sounds like you are doing the right thing for your kids' sake. Please do not sleep with her or consider taking her back. Do not let her live with you because these situations always create problems, and you will have to remove her, making you the bad guy and breaking up the family. A good co-parenting relationship with her will be beneficial for your kids, but you need to set boundaries. I recall but did not review your original story. I do not recall who has primary custody, but I am guessing it is you. Do not give up any of your rights or say anything before consulting with your divorce attorney. Your ex needs a lot of therapy, and both you and the kids cannot be in the middle of it because the kids will suffer. It will take your ex quite a few years to figure herself out. Listen to your attorney and be cautious with your ex. Thanks, and yes, I have custody. Thank you to all with their comments and suggestions. There were many questions, and so I will post a quick update. We are meeting for Christmas meals, and it will be a day-only affair at my place. She will be welcomed, and everything will be done to make her and everyone else as comfortable as possible. That said, me and my ex have discussed and are on the same page regarding expectations, boundaries, and concerns. This is a low-key affair that only you and the four of us know about to avoid external pressure and influence. Eventually, the kids may give it away, but as of now, no one else knows. This is solely for the kids and not a hope to rekindle the past. There may be emotional challenges, but we will deal with that in a healthy and respectful atmosphere. All we hope for is one more happy memory for the kids and to show them that we both care for them, even if separately. Some relevant comments. Wow. Life just has a way of making things complicated. You are a straight-up superstar, man. I have to hand it to you. The majority of men in your shoes, wealth or not, would just cave and turn into a ball of tears, snot, and pick-me dance guys and be done with life. But you slammed it, dang. When you stand up for yourself, you receive all the good that life brings. The love of your kids and their gratefulness. Great that your kids have you to show and demonstrate to them what good character is. God knows very few people know what character is or why it counts. What a role model. I hope you and your kids have a wonderful Christmas and New Year. I am so rooting for you all, no crying for me. I process my emotions and have no guilt, as there was nothing that I did that created the mess. My pride and ego were initially hurt, but within a few dates, I realized that whenever I put myself out there, I will not lack for great companions. I've paused dating because I really need to work on trust, and I am getting better on trust issues each day. Right now, I am not sure if I want to ever get into a close relationship again, and I do not want to lead anyone on. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and yours as well. I have followed your story from the beginning and was angry for you and your kids every step of the way. A part of me, based on your narrative, tells me that there is something to salvage from what she did to you and your kids. A lot of past good memories will be conjured up during her visit for Christmas. You're human, and anything is possible, as our views on events in our lives evolve over time. She is at fault for leaving you and your kids for her lesbian lover. Is it possible that she was manipulated, brainwashed by this miserable person? Anything is possible, but you alone need to decide how much you allow her into you and your kid's life. She was manipulated by others and possibly the AP. However, at the end of the day, she was an adult and the blame is hers. She has acknowledged as much. I have also heard from common friends that she blames the AP and some common friends, but this was never directly told to me. All I was told by her after the divorce was that I treated her very well, was everything she wanted, and she is sorry that she ruined everything. Then, did she break up with her girlfriend out of nowhere without any explanation? Simply, now that she wants to be closer to her daughters, was it different when you were with your girlfriend? I do not get this. Was it different when you were with your girlfriend? My daughter and son's rejection of the ex and her affair hit the ex hard. Also, her heart was never in the affair. She was coaxed into it by a few toxic friends who wanted her to discover her other side. She jumped into the affair and moved out in just 2 weeks, and soured on the affair immediately after the divorce. I think she discovered the other side and did not like what she found. The grass always appears greener on the other side. I really do not know the real reason or what she told her AP. What was conveyed to me was that she was not happy in it. Wow! I only started reading your story and updates today. It took me over 2 hours to go through all the comments, and I must say that I admire your inner strength and composure. Even though I believe it takes a lot of effort, everything important has already been said in other people's comments. So I just want to add to the story. I never encountered a moment where your ex directly expressed a desire to reconcile and get back together. Only her attempt to move into your house under the pretext of improving relations with the children seemed very see-through and cheap to me, since she didn't care about the children at all when she decided to leave and abandon her family. So, I see her attempt to move in with you not as an act for the sake of the children, but rather as a pathetic attempt so that she could return to you again and continue as if nothing had happened. Fortunately, that didn't work out, partly thanks to your children. You should be proud of them. They have a good moral compass, and their heart is in the right place. Bless them. If she still keep blaming AP and her friends, who supported her in her own delusion, instead fully take the blame herself. It's a sign that she still doesn't want to and refuse to fully acknowledge and admit responsibility, guilt, and all the mess she caused with her actions. Therefore, she is not worth being forgiven yet. I wish her the therapy will help her understand what's wrong with her. At least for you, man, I wish you all the best, and to your children, stay strong for yourself, for them, and I wish you a very happy Christmas. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you and yours as well. I also need to add something, which is that she has expressed the desire to reconcile a while back but understood when I said that I was burnt once and had no desire to be hurt again. I offered her a great co-parent relationship, which is what we have. She does not repeat reconciliation again, perhaps to her credit, and maybe to not pressurize or make things uncomfortable. Story 2. This will be a weird one. I made a throwaway for it because I think this is a pretty unique situation that the person in question could very easily figure out is about them, and I don't want them knowing my mate. I am a 35-year-old male, happily married with 2 children. My wife is a 32-year-old female, and we have been together for 8 years, married for 4. We were out shopping in our hometown when we ran into my ex-friend, her parents, and her children. She moved out of state over 10 years ago, and I haven't seen her since, nor have we had any contact other than Facebook happy birthday wishes. She is married with 2 kids of her own. Anyway, on to the situation. My Phil and her father are friendly with each other. Both retired military, they occasionally have breakfast together with their other retired friends. When we ran into each other, my ex-friend's dad congratulated my wife and me. We figured my Phil told him we're expecting our 3rd child. I saw my ex-friend look at my wife's belly and then acted distant for the rest of the exchange, whereas she was friendly, starting off. We traded pleasantries and said goodbye. My wife and I continued about our shopping, and by the time we were done, I checked my phone and saw I had a Facebook message from my ex-friend, XF. It was good to see you again, XF wrote. Me too, the family looks good. How about yours? Would you want to grab coffee and catch up? I'm in town for a couple more days. We're actually pretty busy, I replied. Otherwise, I would be down. I'm sorry, XF. I understand. Adulting can be tough. Can I ask you a question? Sure, what's up? I responded. Was I just not your type? XF asked. What do you mean? I replied. I'm asking, what did I do wrong? We pursued you for years. We were inseparable for years, and you never gave us a real chance. I loved you. Our families loved us, our friends loved us together, but you just never committed all the way to us. You wouldn't even have sex with me, and I need to know why. Was I not good enough? Could you not see yourself married to me and having a family together? I didn't respond and showed the messages to my wife. She knows of this girl and the reasoning behind us growing apart, mostly because we see her family everywhere. She asked my wife, who told me to be honest with her, but I'm not sure if that's right. It feels mean. I'm going to give my POV on our friendship, and I'm hoping I can get some advice on where to go from here. Basically, she and I met through friends in high school. I was very interested, but she was dating someone at the time. She ended up asking me out a month or so later, and we went on dates and kissed a few times, though we never had the conversation about being official, hence me calling her a friend and not a girlfriend. One night while riding in the car, her ex-boyfriend called her, and I could still hear the conversation, though she didn't have it on speaker. She told him she couldn't talk right now, and he asked who she was with. She didn't tell him, but he later figured it out and messaged me on Facebook, asking if I knew they were still together. I apologized and said I didn't, and I would cut things off. I called her, and she started crying, saying she didn't have the courage to tell me they were still together, But she liked me so much and was going to break up with him. I cut her off anyway. Fast forward a few more months and she reaches out and we go through the same motions. Her wanting to be with me, but always having another guy messaging her, which I would catch out of the corner of my eye. This lasted, embarrassingly, years throughout college and into our early 20s. It was always the same. She'd reach out, we'd reconnect, and things would begin getting serious again. I check her social media and see she just broke up with someone. We even went on vacation to the mountains together for a weekend, and the same thing happened. She had literally just been there a month ago with her ex, and the trip with me was her idea. The worst part is, both our families really did love us together. My parents were never rude to my girlfriends but would ask me, how XF is doing these days? Or send remarks about how her parents miss me. HL might now. Phil at one point mentioned that my ex's dad brought up how he really thought I'd be his son-in-law one day. Years ago, I confided in my friends that I'm always just a rebound or backup plan, and that's why I could never commit or get more physical with her. They told me to just sleep with her when she comes calling and not pursue anything more. The problem was I wanted more but felt used anyways. Every time we would plan things out where SX was more than likely on the table, I'd see a guy message her or I'd see a post on social media, and it just destroyed my enthusiasm. When I say that, I mean literally, it crushed my confidence every single time. One of my best friends told me I didn't have to pay attention to all that and could have just had my fun with her. It didn't mean I had to chase a relationship with her, knowing I was always a rebound. That felt us HTY to me. I had other girlfriends here and there, but I wanted this girl, we just clicked, you know? But it's like some sort of goddamn mystical being was showing me a sign every single time things were going to progress in our relationship. I just didn't want her to be getting over someone else or having someone on the back burner when we reconnected. Maybe that's my own insecurity, but I know I felt it, and it didn't feel good. So, I slowly distanced myself after a short amount of time passed. I met my wife. She met her husband, and our lives moved on with little to no contact until the other day. I haven't responded to the message, and it's been 2 days. I was thinking of just lying and saying it's not her fault or just not responding, but my wife is insisting I tell her the whole thing. I know this is a word wall, but I'm honestly conflicted. I told my wife I was going to ask others for their opinion, and I'm considering the internet as my others. An ex-friend Facebook messaged me, asking why she wasn't good enough for me after running into each other over 10 years later. We're both married with children of our own. How to respond to her messages. Relevant comments. OP, she is doing exactly the same thing she always did with you. I would bet all the cash in my wallet if you were able to look into her life. Her marriage is crumbling, or her husband isn't paying enough attention to her. You were the great white whale that got away, and she is trying to test the water to see if you're down to do the same old song and dance. Now even more of a challenge since you have a happy family and marriage. Don't engage with her. This sounds exactly like the same cycle you described from your young adulthood. Update. Thank you, everyone, for the responses. I decided to listen to the majority and responded to the ex-friend. The response was well received, and we chatted the rest of the week and met up on the weekend before Easter. The short of it is, we're both leaving our partners, and I are going to try this relationship again, now that we've completely opened up to each other about our true feelings. Thank you all for the encouragement to do this. I couldn't have done it without you. April Fools. I would never. The real update is pretty anticlimactic, unfortunately. I ended up just never responding to it. It had already been 5 days by the time I read through every response and decided to just let it go. My wife was fine with that but told me to block her if she messages again. We did a couple Easter egg hunts with different family members yesterday, including at my Phil's. They have a decent-sized property and host quite a few people, so I wasn't surprised to see non-family members. I was, however, surprised when A's parents were there with her children. After all, the adults scattered and hid the eggs, and the kids started their search. A dad came over to chat with me. Nothing out of the ordinary. Towards the end, I asked if the kids were staying with them for Easter, and he basically told me that he and her husband were having some troubles and needed some time alone to sort things out. He didn't go into specifics, so I don't know exactly what troubles are, but congratulations to those of you who called that one. For now, this should conclude the story. If she does happen to reach out again and I feel it's worth letting you all know what it says, then I will. Otherwise, thanks again. TLDR. Joke intro. Saw ex-friend's parents and her children at Phil's Easter egg hunt. Her and her husband are having troubles. Relevant comments. OMG. I knew it. I called this on the original post that she and her husband were having trouble, and she was just trying to get the same old ego boost, even more of one because you are clearly very happily married. Congrats on the baby. By the way, you win the gold star of the month for handling this like a goddamn hero. You're an excellent husband, and your wife is an awesome teammate. Bad sass herself, good job OP. She clearly just needed some attention, and even though you were married, had moved on, and she'd be a home wrecker, she didn't care. Even asking, why didn't you want me W after 10 freaking years? Is obviously fishing for compliments and an ego boost, especially since she was the reason you never worked out. It's maddening. You did the right thing 100%. Thank you. I noticed on the original post you talked about it possibly being competitive. My wife said the same based on her reaction to the pregnancy news. Either competitive or possibly fertility issues after 2 children. TBH, she's put a lot more thought into reasoning than I have.